Here's part 2 of my video interview with 97-year-old farm equipment dealer Joe Colgan of Wyoming, Illinois. Joe got his start in the equipment business back in 1933. He went to work for John Deere in 1937 and 10 years later bought into the local Deere dealership in Wyoming, Illinois in the year 1947. Joe's son Tim just recently retired after a long career in the farm equipment business and joined us for this kitchen table interview. Now, back in the 60s, your customer base, again, there were 6 dealers within 20 miles. So what was the farthest out one of your customers came from? It was all so local.
Well, occasionally we'd get out 25 or 30 miles, some individuals, some way, some contact.
Okay.
But most of our business, I guess you'd say, had a radius of 15 miles.
15 miles. Just like it is today, right, Tim?
We 7 states. The internet opens up the door to anybody with just see the pictures and buy them off the internet. Our truck was in 7 states last year.
You were just telling me that back in January or December that just before you retired, you got a call from a dealer in Louisiana?
Louisiana, the dealer down there, the end of November, he had sold out his allotment of international case tractors, and he had called Central Illinois Deere dealers trying to buy our trade-ins if we had them because he had no inventory because the price of cotton and soybeans was so good. But we didn't have what he needed, but the internet, he was just searching all over the U.S.
Right. It's the flow of information, the availability of finding out is just so amazing these days.
Yeah, people don't care how far you truck it; it's just what they want.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Now we have an interesting plow here, folks. I got to have Joe and Tim tell you this story. I'm just going to hold this up for the camera here. This Joe, why don't you tell us about this plow?
Well, I had a farm sale in 19.
Here's the picture.
Now this is that Deere.
This is the actual plow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought this plow. It was shiny, new like a new plow.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, the dealer, the auctioneer knew me, and he knew it was a John Deere plow, and he called for a bid, and I made one bid, and he said sold.
And when roughly was this? Would you guess, Joe? When was this?
How much money?
Or what? When did you buy it?
1951.
1951.
About 5 miles north of town here.
Okay.
Downing Brothers were an older couple selling it out.
Okay.
And I got that plow, and Tim still has it. It, according to Deere's records, it's now 100 years old. And we kept it all the time. Well, Deere, when they built the new Deere and Company building,
okay.
Somebody knew about it. They wanted to use it as a breaking plow to break ground for the new building.
Oh, really? Wow.
So they had this. This was an employee of theirs.
Okay.
And his team.
Yep.
And they
actually used your plow to break
they used
ground.
our plow.
Really? To break ground for their
the Iron Palace.
Wow. That's
and the end of powers, it is. You mentioned, of course, your name, Peterson, and this man with the pipe.
Yep. He was with Deere back in the.
What was RJ? I gotta get this. I got a record of it here. Oh no, his name is Carlson. I was thinking it might be
Peterson, we're close.
Carlson, yeah.
There's a few of us Scandinavians around, yeah.
First of all, he was going to do the plowing.
Okay.
And you know that with the walking plow, you put the lines over your shoulders and tied them.
Sure.
And then you didn't hold them, you held the plow.
Right.
But they did that with R.J. Carlson.
Okay.
And then they told the team to step up.
Okay.
And the tugs were loose.
Oh, no.
They pulled him up on the plow.
Pulled him right in, huh?
And so
a memorable start.
He stepped back, and the farmer did the plowing.
The farmer did the plowing.
Yeah.
And that was the start of
that was good.
Cool. And you'll have to email me a picture of the plow.
I haven't yet.
I'd love to see
we'll
it.
do that.
Now, one other picture, Tim, you emailed me. These were great pictures from the early 70s.
Right. This was the the introduction of the 4230, 42, 44.
Okay.
They shipped those tractors to all the dealers covered in cardboard so no one could see the rounded cab.
Was it fall 72?
It would have been in the spring of 72, I think.
72, okay.
But every dealer had one, and on a Saturday morning in 72, we all had an open house, cut the cardboard off, and everybody got to see the rounded cab.
The rounded cab. Right.
And people were sure surprised. The old year-round square boxy cab was gone, and the new rounded ones.
Kind of like that new, or the losing the belt pulley.
Yes.
Another advancement, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've got good pictures of it.
Well, I loved it. Was funny. We posted that picture on a blog, and we got feedback from people, from farmers around the country who remembered
Going to the open house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Now, again, Joe, you retired in. What year?
Well, I don't know. I stayed out of the store after sometime in the 70s, maybe 80s.
Late
I-
70s, yeah.
Okay.
Tim was running it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, since you've retired, Joe, it's been a little over 30 years. What do you make of what the advancement on these machines and GPS and all this stuff?
I've talked to dealers, and there's absolutely no way I could have any part of it today.
I think give you a week and you'd be right up to speed on that. You'd have it.
No, I don't even have a computer.
No problem. Could you have imagined that these machines would cost $250,000 and be run by satellites and just unbelievable?
That bookkeeping machine that I told you about, that cost $100, you know. That was a way too much.
That was a big investment.
Tell them about your annual sales that one year, Dad.
I can remember the year that we paid Deere $100,000.
You paid Deere $100,000.
Everything we bought from them amounted to $100,000. I don't know what year it was. But,
wow.
and we were making a living.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, things change, don't they?
Now they went from a 2-row, 24-row, 36 rows, 12-row corn heads.
Were you into any of the 48-row stuff here?
No, we haven't done any of that. The big 48s.
Yeah. It just keeps changing. I'm heading to Louisville, so.
We probably did sell. You sold 12 rows.
We did sell. Got up to 8s and 12s. 8-row wide was popular,
Yep.
and then the 12-row narrow. Yeah.
But what would you say about your client base in northern Illinois here, Joe? The farmers that you worked with over your career. This is a great area, northern Illinois. What did you enjoy about working with farmers here?
Oh, I liked farming. I mean, I liked the outdoors. When I left Deere, I said I want to get closer to the dirt and be a dealer, and that's what I did. And you know, farmers were tough, but I was too.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, how about Deere as a company? It's such a worldwide leader, but you going back so far with them, Joe, what do you remember the early days about the relationship with the company as a dealer? Was it? I imagine that changed.
The dealer?
Yeah.
I'd say the company was good to us. They led us along and forced us some, and some of it was hard for us to understand, but it was necessary. And I have always complimented Deere on the personnel.
Good people.
There were a lot of Petersons.
Well, it makes life easier when you're working with good people, doesn't it?
Good people.
Good people, yeah. That's true.
Well, the farmers would be, I think I'd say, loyal to us. We'd have second and third generation boys be customers.
Right.
Although a few of them got too smart. They were smarter than their dad, and they went shopping.
Now that's another change, I imagine, Tim, that you must have seen too.
Yes, that the old dads would come in and say, well, that's all right, Joe, bring it out. Well, now that the sons and grandsons are there, they've been on the internet, and they've priced out the equipment, and they've done lots of shopping and all, and so.
They're probably looking at that crazy auction price guy too.
Yeah. But on the other hand, it's been a benefit with your side because they know what their equipment's worth.
Sure.
And they know what the new one is, and so when they come in and say the difference ought to be 80,000, and you say the difference is 80,000, they say that's correct, and so let's do it.
Tim, would you say that in implement business these days, providing value to the customer relationship?
Very important because of the
Parts.
size of the equipment, the parts, the
Yeah.
people, the technicians. You've got to have the backup, and if you don't have that, you can't shop somewhere else and come in and expect our technicians.
Right.
Our stores, we had 65 employees, and all good people, very little turnover,
Right.
good young people knowing the computers and all, and
Right.
so that's good.
And it's probably will become even more important, I would imagine, going forward.
Sure.
Taking care of the customer. But
Yes.
that must have been the same back in when you started, Joe, taking care of the customer.
Well, yes, I think that's what kept it. We always had good servicemen and good shop. When we did close our store, 5 of our men went to one other dealer. He took all 5 of them.
The whole crew.
They were good quality men,
Okay.
and they stayed with him. And we had employees that were with us, 20 and 25 years.
Sure.
They were good people.
Right.
I never had to fire anybody. If they found out they didn't fit, they just left.
Right. So what kind of boss was Dad, Tim?
Dad was a good teacher. Honesty. Yep.
That's the way to do business, isn't it?
Right.
Long range thinking. You treat people well. And I'm sure that's why you were in business and successful all those years, both of you.
Yeah.
Well, we paid them well, but they were worth it.
Right.
And
The employees, yes.
and we knew that was the. It's like a farmer. I've compared it to a farmer. He
Okay.
could get some low cost help,
Right.
but before the forenoon's over, he might have the planter in the fence.
Right.
It paid to have good help.
Yes, that's true. Now, Tim, you came back from Vietnam, you said, and,
Yes.
and got involved with the business.
Right.
So what was that like? You were how old when you came back?
21.
21 years old,
Yeah.
coming to get back into the infant business with
Right.
Dad.
Came
What-
back, got married, finished college, and Dad at that time was needing help.
Okay.
So that's when the first of the round cabs were coming,
Right,
so
right.
that was a booming time, the early 70s.
Sure,
and
yeah.
so came back, moved to Wyoming, and took off with the business.
Wow. And the 70s, yeah, just the whole decade was kind of go time. Wasn't
Sure,
It?
yeah.
And then learning the business from your dad, was that?
Well, we learned, I'll have to tell a quick story, that the mechanics, when I was a little kid, probably getting in the way, they sent me after a left-hand monkey wrench
Okay.
over to the hardware store, and Buck owned the hardware. He said, "Oh, Tim," he said, "I just gave it to the plumber down at the corner." So I went down there, and he picked it up right away, and he said, "Well, I gave it to Billy Stahl." So they got me out of the way searching for the left-hand monkey wrench.
Andy, if you'd hand us that picture, let Pete see that.
Yeah. Now this.
You're talking about the 70s. That picture was our store
They were
in
downtown
in
before.
the 70s.
Downtown Wyoming?
We had been in a storefront uptown until we built that building. I bought 10 acres and built that building. And the year we moved in there, our business doubled without
Colgan?
any other thing. We had sufficient
Room.
accommodations to give service and do it right. Someplace we've got a picture of the storefront that we were in for
Here it is, right here, Dad. Nope.
well, that's Dallas.
It's Dallas.
You've kept good records, Joe. I like
Oh,
that.
up here.
That's good. That's good.
Some people are collectors,
And
but
folks,
I'm
again, Joe is, how old are you, Joe?
97.
97. You're looking awesome. You're very sharp. I hope when I'm 97, I'm half as sharp as you are, Joe.
Well, I know my name.
You know a lot.
This was taken, it's not a good picture, but that was taken at Dallas.
For the release of the 4010s, the 10
Yes,
series?
4010.
Okay. 1960? 61? Yeah, I see a resemblance there. That's good. That's good.
There ought to be a picture here. There's my parts man when we did get some parts.
That was my Uncle Jim.
That's my brother.
Yeah, that was Dad's brother, Jim.
Jim Colgan. Okay, there we go.
At a later time, we bought a second store, and it was his store. Well, here it is. Here's a picture. We operated here for 18 years.
Oh, On the corner, right?
On
in
Main
Wyoming.
Street.
Main Street, Wyoming. That was the start with the Colgan Company right there, folks. And again, you were in the store till when? Did you build a new one?
64.
64, we moved into the big building.
That was a Valen building out in Nebraska, and we built it.
So now I just drove down Main Street, Wyoming here. What is this building now?
That was the Ford car dealership
Okay.
at the south edge of town.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the route going south. You came in from the west.
Oh, yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well-
This building is just 2 blocks right down the street.
Okay. And that was where you, from 1947 to 1964.
That's correct. And
Wyoming,
the
Illinois.
train came right by there. In the old days, they brought the equipment in boxcars.
Mm.
So I can remember when I was a little kid helping to roll they had wheels under the frame of the
Okay.
corn planters. We'd roll them out the door. The tractors came on flatbed cars,
Yeah.
and they were spiked down. Tell them about the putting the tread on the
Oh,
tires, Dad.
back when I went to work, my first job with a dealer,
Okay.
I was putting lugs on a Model D tractor, steel lug on a flat wheel,
Yep.
and to have the face of the lug right direction,
Mm-hmm.
I'd hold in my hand and put in this 3/4 bolt and a big nut,
Okay.
had a wrench about that long and get them good and tight,
Yep.
and I did the left wheel, then I went to the right wheel
Okay.
and did the same thing,
Okay.
and the lug was backwards.
Oh.
And when I got about half through with the wheel, the older man that was watching me
The mechanic.
said, "Are you sure you're doing that right?" So I had to take them all off, put them on right.
Lesson learned.
That stuck in my
Lesson
But
learned.
I said to him, "You knew I was doing it." "I know," but he said, "You'll remember."
You'll remember.